A night watchman and a maintenance engineer were on duty at a large bakery just before midnight in January 1964. They were attacked by thieves who bound them and left them in a toilet block. The thieves then broke through several doors and finally broke into a safe, stealing more than £10,000. The thieves were charged with robbery. Robbery is similar to larceny or theft, but it includes the application or threat of force. The defendant argued that in this case there could not be robbery because by the time they stole anything, the victims were nowhere near the safe. There was an assault, there was a theft, but the defendants argued they were separate. Common sense might say of course they weren't separate, but common law and common sense don't always coincide. The offence of robbery had initially meant actually using physical force to take something being held by the victim. It was then expanded to include things in the immediate vicinity of the victim, such as a horse, and then it was expanded again to include threats which were not physical violence, such as blackmail. The question was, how far could the relationship between the assault and the larceny be stretched? The defendants were convicted at first instance and sentenced to 7 years in jail. The Court of Appeal overturned that decision and the Crown appealed to the House of Lords. All of the Law Lords restored the initial verdict and sentence. Lord Pearce said, "The essence of robbery is that violence is done or threatened to the person of the custodian who stands between the robber and the property in order to prevent or overcome his resistance and oblige him to part with the property and submit to the thief stealing it. Thus the offence against the person and the theft are combined. A thief cannot escape the charge of robbery by merely planning his crime in 2 stages, namely, first violently removing the owner or custodian of the property from its vicinity to a distance at which he cannot see or hear the actual stealing of the property, and then secondly, stealing the property. From this case, we learn that the physical proximity between the violence and the stealing is not always crucial. If the force or threat of force was used to overcome resistance to the theft, robbery is committed at common law.